binder, the binder. And outdated.
I think she's using the wrong word. She said retreat. That's not what she's talking about.
And we did that.
So
we just covered up.
do one. Remember the thing.
It is a series of workshops. Topics. Is it here?
Oh, this is stuff from the training. It's from the training.
And it's on 17th there.
It's just another meeting.
Everybody, then what happened is we will.
Oh, hold on.
Everybody,
What
this one is mine.
It's already on the agenda.
But we said, because we've done there for discussion, you guys. First we discuss, we can do it. And then it'll be voted on.
I'm there.
No, what, I want to be wherever we're going. Oh, baby, don't do it. I won't be able to stop.
Sorry.
I've had a day. Don't do it. Ain't gonna be able
You've
to-
had a day today.
But
Anyway.
Now, where is that? Ma'am? Right
Uh-oh.
here. This is the agenda on the left side. How to do that? Is anything
But
special?
you're not logged in.
Ah. There you go. Right there.
Okay.
Nope. All right, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It is now 7:04. I'm going to request a roll call vote to establish a quorum.
Jackson,
Here.
Lane,
Here.
this work. Here. Dr. Coleman,
Here.
Maureen,
Here.
Dr. Von Elliott.
Present.
Y'all stand the Pledge of Allegiance.
You go walk them. Where you at?
Pledge allegiance
To the flag
Of the United States of America.
and to the
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Ain't been playing.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Ms. Lane approved the agenda. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We will now ask for patron participation, and I am happy to see my state representative here. We are going to call for State Representative Yolanda Fountain Henderson to come forth and bring remarks.
That was quick. To the board president and to all of you, good evening.
Good evening.
I decided after I did some volunteer work 3 minutes ago, to come before you all to introduce myself as State Representative Yolanda Fountain Henderson. Part of this area is my district. I represent Lee Master, Moline, Meadows, Westview, Coke, and Riverview Garden Central Middle. So I understand, Marlene used to have all of it, but those are my districts now. So I just come before you. I would like to pass out some of my literature. If you all need me at any given time, I met Miss Lane at one of the meetings, the town hall meetings. So I would like to pass this out if this is okay. Okay, this is my literature, and if anybody in the audience want this, I can leave a couple of them there. We'll be going back in session in January. And I'll be working real hard for the Riverview School District as well as City of Jennings. School districts of Jennings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other patrons that would like to address the board, Shay? Thank you. We would then now move to announcements. Have any announcements?
Yes, last board meeting, the honorees from Riverview Gardens were announced. I just want to let everyone know that, go on Eventbrite to look for Apple for the Teacher. If you would like to come to the event and celebrate them, you will select their name as the honoree that you are coming to support. The tickets will close out on November the 4th and make sure that we have all the give to the hotel. So just go to Eventbrite. Just look for Apple for the Teacher and look for the honorees from Review Garden.
Thank
Yes, I'd like to say I have 3. Last Wednesday, we attended the Missouri School Board Association Region 7 meeting. And our president, who is the chair of our region, was the person who kept the meeting going on time and in order, and she did an excellent job. We had an opportunity to win $250 in MSBA money or some kind of points.
Right.
We had 6 members of present, but we did not. So we're going to make that a goal at the next meeting that we have to have all of our board members present. And thank you to all those who came. Number 2, the Village of Riverview is hosting a parade next Saturday, October 14, 3 to 7. I understand, get in touch with high school and we will have participation and floats and the cars. So if you're available, please try to attend the first annual Village of Riverview Parade. After all, the village is named, well, we were named after the village. I don't know how all that came about, but I'm gonna do some research on that. It's from 3 to 7 p.m. and you're starting at the Village Hall on Lilac, ending at the park on Diamond. The information is on the website. Also, from the communications department, we were given the applications for the community volunteer organization and community person of the year. So Bell Fountain Neighbors published it on their city website. I did ask other municipalities, and I'm not sure if they have published it, but Bell Fountain Neighbors certainly has that application on the first page of our website. Thank you so much. That's it.
We'll move forward to the superintendent's report.
Good afternoon, members of the board and members of our community. I do want to echo Dr. May's announcement about the Apple for the Teacher. I believe we have the most honorees than any other school district. That's a yay. And the district will be purchasing a table. So it is always a wonderful event. So just a couple of things that are happening. October is extremely busy. And so on this Thursday, Dr. Levon Singleton, our CFO, Mr. Carl Scheit, our Executive Director of Food Service, and I will travel to Jefferson City to meet with representatives in the governor's office regarding funding for facility upgrades, specifically under the umbrella of school safe. We will also, Ms. Maura Real and I, and Dr. Tanya Patton and I will then go back to Jeff City on the 17th to present our quarterly update to the State Board of Education, and you will receive that presentation in your end of week notes. The next SAB workshop with MSBA is scheduled for October the 17th. On that agenda, which you all have, you will do your board self-eval. And once you do the self-eval, that will help you identify board goals as we move forward. So I do want to remind you of that. And right now that's scheduled 6 3-hour meeting,
9 or 5:30.
9. 5:30. I'm sorry.
I have
5:30 to 8:30. That is correct. 5:30 to 8:30. Also on, and I do want to say that I was so impressed with the work that our board did at the last workshop. It was the work that you got accomplished, and the direction that we're taking is to be commended. That's excellent. Thank you. Also, the Little Bit Foundation Gala is October the 20th. Will be at the Chase Park Plaza. There's still some seating available for members of the school board. I believe Ms. Lane, you are attending. So there's 2 more seats. Or the seats are gone. Okay, disregard. All the seats are gone. But Ms. Lane, you have a seat. There is complimentary parking. So if there's valet parking, it's complimentary. And also, I was told if you have to park on the parking lot, they will give you a ticket to get out. It starts at 5:30. Also, on parent teachers conferences, just a reminder, October 25th and October 26th. There's no school, but the district is open on the 27th. And that is also the same time for Soul Fisher's Gala. It is their 10th anniversary gala. That will be held at the Ritz-Carlton. And I do want to say both the Little Bit Foundation and Soul Fisher does so much for our scholars in our school district that it is an event that is well attended. The district purchased a table for both. I additionally purchased a table for one. There is still seating. Okay, I'm correct this time. There's still seating available for members of the SAB. Please let Shay and Ishmael know Soul Fisher has asked to have all the names and the meal selection no later than this Friday. So if you would like to go, please notify him. Also, as you know, we built into the calendar, like most school districts, a fall break instead of taking a COVID break before Thanksgiving. And so Monday, October the 30th is a fall break. So the entire district will be closed that day, which means there's no school on Friday, the 27th, and no school on Monday, the 30th. Also, it is that time of the year for surveys, everybody's favorite thing to do. As many people know, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed requires that districts do a survey, and it is part of our CSIP plan. And so the communication survey will be distributed to scholars, parents, community, and employees in the district. Everyone's participation is truly appreciated. We are encouraging everyone to respond to the survey and to return it. This will help us gain insight on the climate and culture of the district, help us build a better community. Also, in closing, today we had feedback on our CSIP. And I met with our area supervisor. So there's 2 people who read them. Our area supervisor, Maureen Clancy May, who at one time worked in this district, and Mr. Craig Larson. And they said that the Riverview Garden CSIP was the best one they have received. And we're in cohort 2, which means they received some last year. And so the only changes that had to be made was in the CSIP planning document, just adding, we spoke about plans. They just want us to list all the plans they have in the district, but other than that, it was the best one. And then she said the best one they have received thus far. And so we just want you to know this is not a document that is going to sit on the shelf. We would do our first board update at the next board meeting. We're not gonna throw it all at you at one time. We're gonna bring you the attendance section and collaborative cultures in October, then December, we'll come back with another section. Then in March with another section. And then at the end, in June the 11th, I believe is the date, we will do total overview of where we are with. That concludes my announcement. Ready for information?
Yes,
The first item on the agenda is the candidates filing cooperation agreement. And so you were sent the information. This is just primarily to let the board know that we will continue using the services of the Board of Election Commissions. Many school districts in our superintendent's meeting last week, it was a topic of discussion because as the dates have changed, it encompasses winter break and having to have people on site doing winter break for that period. The policy is attached and this is basically for your information. Are there any questions? If so, shake and answer.
The agreement will continue to be in place until the special administrative board decides to make a resolution. Otherwise, the agreement will stand until you decide otherwise.
The next item is the first student transportation end of the year review or program evaluation. Making this presentation is Dr. Levon Singleton. And this item is in compliance with CSIP's goal for attendance as well as board policy EEA, student transportation services, and policy IM, evaluation of instructional programs. Dr. Levon Singleton, CFO, and Shanika Butler, who is the location manager for student.
All right. Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, colleagues and community. I'd like to introduce our management staff for First Student Transportation. Shanika Butler is the local transportation manager. She's housed right here at Bell Fountain Road in Chambers. And her supervisor, the area manager, Amy Sides, is here as well for support. And so at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Shanika and she'll do the presentation.
This is click on this one. Okay. Okay, perfect. Good evening. My name is Shanika Butler. I am, like you said, the first student location manager currently serving the home to school transportation for the district. And I'm joined by our district manager, Miss Amy Side, who oversees all of the operations for the locations in our area. So on my agenda today, I'll be going over our year in review, giving some information on the EPA Clean School Bus Program, sharing some of the community and outreach programs that we've been thankful to be a part of, things that we're looking forward to in the next school year, and then I'll be open for questions. So our mission at First Student is to provide unmatched care and the safest ride to school. So when students arrive, they've started their day with an exceptional experience and are ready to achieve their full potential. We have 5 core values: focus on safety. So safety is at the heart of everything that we do. Caring for our students, ensuring that our vehicles are welcoming and trusted places where students feel comfortable and secure. Surpassing customer expectations, we go the extra mile to deliver an extraordinary experience for our customers and our community. We foster teamwork, we work together, we act with integrity, respect each other, and we champion diversity and inclusion. Last, we try to set the highest standards. We continually seek a better way to do things with innovation, sustainable practices, financial discipline, commercial and operational excellence. So look back at last school year, we were able to provide transportation for 24 daily home to school routes. We also supported 5 routes for our students in transition program, and we also provided transportation for the STAMP program that operates out of the Riverview Gardens High School. We were also able to maintain a steady labor for consistent daily route home to school coverage and insulate the district from labor shortages that still plagues most of our industry. Last year, we did increase the starting wage for our drivers from $22 to a current rate of $26 effective this year. And we're offering employee referral bonuses up to $500. And that's still going. We did not have any major school bus accidents with any students on board. And last year for COVID-19 prevention, we were able to provide disposable masks for students provided by the district as they were available. Our drivers were trained in protocols to prevent the transmission of the virus on the bus, and each bus does have vented windows for open airflow in each. So the EPA Clean School Bus Funding Program does provide $5 billion over 5 years for the replacement of existing school buses with clean and zero emission buses, so electric. These buses do replace, the new bus replacements will produce either zero or low tailpipe emissions. And those buses do result in cleaner air on and around the bus and in the communities in which they operate. $400 million is available for the 2023 rebates. School districts can apply directly once an application can be submitted to replace 25 buses. EPA will not fund multiple locations that serve the same school district. First student can apply on behalf of the school district and 1 application per EPA region. Of course, Riverview is Region 7. We do have some prioritization criteria. So the environmental justice and disadvantaged community did give Riverview of 25-point advantage as well as a non-attainment, which was an additional 5 points. First student has applied for this grant on behalf of Riverview Gardens School District, and we are currently awaiting those results. So, again, some of the things that we've been a part of, we work really, really closely with the Soul Fisher Ministries. As Dr. Pruitt-Adams said that they do amazing things. So we do work really closely with that organization, providing that transportation. The Back to School Bash we were a part of, we provided shuttles for that. Sister Strut, the Annie Malone Parade, and the Pride Parade. So looking forward for this school year, we are currently aligned to be fully staffed for the upcoming school year. So aside from the regular 24 home to school routes, we are still providing transportation for 5 routes for students in transition, transportation for the ELL program, which is new this year, a 1 for STAMP at the high school, and also transportation for the dual enrollment program that is at Florissant Valley. And we're also supporting the addition of 2 routes for the Soul Fisher Ministries with Danforth and LeMasters this year. Aside from the EPA grant, we do have 6 brand new school buses ordered to replace some of our older fleet. So you should see those on the road. So we do want to also reintroduce the First View and Parent View app to the district. It is mobile or desktop. So some of the benefits of this app for the district is centralized data. The district can get centralized operational data such as school arrival and departure times, route changes, as well as route replay. Real-time bus tracking. The district can receive real-time bus tracking for the entire fleet by school, route, or stop, including ETAs. Custom parent alerts. The district can send messages through First app to parent app users across the district, and this can either be for a specific school or for a specific route. The security of this app is more secure than any other bus tracking tool on the market. The district can configure for different users and manage within their existing security protocols. So the district can also manage those parent users as well. It also comes with a built-in customer support that is available Monday through Friday directly in the dashboard of the app. And some of the advantages for the parents It provides live tracking of the child's bus, whether it's the regular bus or a substitute. They can see the bus where it is on the map in real time. Predictive stop arrivals. Again, it can provide an ETA to the parents. And if the ETA isn't available, again, they can at least see where the bus is on the map. They can opt in to receive alerts when the bus is 1 or 2 miles away or within 5 to 10 minutes away. It comes with timestamp, school arrival and departure, so parents can get confirmation that the bus did arrive at the school in the morning and when it departs from the school in the afternoon. They can also add up to 3 additional email addresses to receive alerts under their account. Our dispatch team can also send informational messages to parents by school or bus route about issues that may be going on, such as why the bus may be late or anything like that. And parents can only gain, the security measure is that parents can only gain access with a student registration or student ID code that will be provided by the district. And it also comes in Spanish and French. And that app also has a customer and technical support built right into the app. So, and again, that's desktop or mobile, so they can download it on their phones. That's what I had to present. Does anybody have any questions?
Real quick, I do want to update on the electric vehicles. So decisions for the round 2 electric vehicles will be made sometime between November and January. We were hoping earlier, but it hasn't. But round 3 is also just opened, and Riverview again is on the priority list. So we will be we'll apply again. Hopefully we back out because we have already been awarded in round 2. But at this point, we are going to move forward with round 3 that just opened. So there is more to come on that. We have requested at this point 15 vehicles for the district.
Question I want to ask about the electric vehicles. So there will have to be some, I don't know what they're called, but where they plug in, their charging stations.
Yes, we've already worked with Ameren and have already done a site plan and know where it will be installed and all the information. So our team has already come out and done all the survey and worked really close with Ameren.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is the program evaluation for English language learners, K-12, and it's the program for 2023. This is in compliance with CSIP student performance section, as well as policy IGBH, programs for English language learners, and policy IM, evaluation of instructional programs. Joining Ms. Mott with the math coordinator, is Catherine Davis-Wynn and Karuna.
Karuna Devet.
What you said. Karuna Devani. Yes,
Karuna Devet.
okay.
All right. Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Superintendent Dr. Pruitt-Adams, colleagues and community. As Dr. Pruitt-Adams said, we are here tonight to present the English Language Learner Program Evaluation from the 2022 school year. And with me tonight, who did the introduction, this is Catherine Davis-Wynn right here. She serves our elementary students. And this is Karuna Devetti, and she serves our secondary students at the middle school and the high school. So I'm going to pass it over to Catherine to begin the presentation.
Hello, thank you for having us here tonight. Am I gonna do this? Okay. All right, hello and thank you. So to start, I'd like to just preface with some acronyms we might be using tonight. We have ELL for English Language Learners. We have ESL as English as a Second Language. And you might also hear us speak about English for Speakers of Other Languages, which is ESOL. So they all roughly reference the same thing.
Ask you to speak just a little louder
Okay,
so that it can be picked up in the stream.
can do.
Thank you.
Sorry. All right. So we're starting this year with 49 current students in our program. 46 of them are active and 3 are in a monitored status. Monitored status comes out of a passing of a WIDA access score, which we will explain later on, what kind of qualities that test has. We have 7 present languages in our district. We have Spanish, Meme, Swahili, Somali, French, Portuguese, and Yoruba. Our students hail from Africa, Central America, and South America, mostly. The student distribution, we have 21 students in our elementaries, 19 students in middle, and 9 students at the high school level. We've had 23 students newly enroll after our last report from 2022. 9 of the enrollments are first-time USA students. We've been working with interpreters to welcome them and their families as well. 14 of the enrollments are transferred from another United States school, so that could be another state or another one in the area. Oftentimes we'll need to work with the LAMP services as well to provide interpretation for those enrollment meetings as well. And 11 students moved out of the district since the last report. So we're starting our 2023-2004 school year with 49 students. And we ended 22-23 school year with 32 students. So we're seeing a sharp uptick in the number of students that we have. Like to, pass it on to Ms. Karuna DeVetti.
Thank you, Ms. Devastating, for providing me an opportunity to represent myself from the Riverview Garden School District. Yeah. I just can't stop myself to this praise that I'm here. Yeah, just allow me. Okay, so my name is Karuna Bedi, and I hold the position of an ELL specialist for secondary level. As you can see in this slide, it talks about the changes and modifications made by the district in this year, 2023 to 2024. We have made one station for the ELL students by elementary, middle, and high school level. For the elementary level, all new enrolled ELL students attend the Masters Elementary School. But we have some existing students who have chosen to be stationed at their home school. So Ms. Davis is providing her support by traveling to their school buildings. For the middle school level, all the ELL students attend Westview Middle School. The CNI team department facilitates the ELL program in collaboration with Dr. Nichols, Dr. Kennedy, and Kimberly Matt. Catherine Davis supports ELL students attending elementary school, which includes Danforth, Kelp, Masters, Meadows, and Moline. I support my ELL student in Riverview Garden High School and Westview Middle School. We have also streamlined enrollment process through the creation of multilingual enrollment instruction and family information documents for the purpose of expediting instructional support for our English language learners family. We have also purchased and implemented the bulletin type, which is a phrase for fluency to provide instructional support. Finally, last but not least, I feel so happy to share this information to you guys that we have had success in creating a designated ESOL and ELL class period for the secondary level, which is a high school and Westview Middle School.
Oh,
Thank you. Back to you, Susan.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
So the goals and objectives of our program: we'd like to identify, assess, and serve all K-12 non-native speakers of English and design and deliver individualized programs for the English Language Learner Program and Learning Services. We'd like to support linguistic and cultural participation for all ELL students. This includes outreach in their community, making sure they have access to services, multilingual facilities that will aid them in vaccinations, and community services to help them find transportation and housing and items such as that. We'd also like to identify for our objectives, area of growth, avenues of further study, and supporting our students with their WIDA annual access that we conduct in February and January. We work with classroom teachers to support and direct content area instruction in a timely manner. We try to make sure that all students are serviced every week, making sure that they have multiple opportunities for lessons that include reading, writing, oral instruction, and a lot of kinetic activities as well, making sure that they have their bodies and minds moving. I would like to increase reading and literacy growth opportunities inside and outside the classroom settings for all ELL students, and provide our local and cultural information to those students and their families so they can successfully navigate our academic world in the greater St. Louis community. Back to Ms. Betty.
Thank you, Ms. Agay. So this slide talks about the tool and criteria to evaluate the student's level of language proficiency. So we demonstrate growth from year to year on the VIDA Access Assessment for our ELS students. VIDA is an online assessment tool which evaluates the student's language level of proficiency on the basis of 4 modules: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. In order to be tagged as interested out student, scholars need to get the minimal score of 4.7 or higher on the scale of 1 to 6. Once they got their desired coveted score band, which is a 4.7 or higher, they will be no longer officially be called as an ELL student. However, their status, they will be under a monitor status for 4 years. Our report and grades on classroom materials and student output from ELL and content area teachers, which closely includes having a connected collaboration with other core teachers working on Renaissance. We also evaluate their growth areas of development by assessing them bi-weekly and daily on the receptive, productive, skills, productive skills, vocabulary, grammar, and functions. Receptive skills includes listening and reading. Productive skill includes speaking and writing. Back to you.
Thank you. So some of the opportunities and next steps we'd really like to work with. We'd like to see professional development being provided to our staff and some of the classroom teachers who work most closely with our ELL students. We'd like to work in collaboration with Dr. Tiffany Patton and Ed Plus. We'll be reaching out this year about that. Additional ongoing ELL targeted professional development and acquiring multiple assessment certifications to increase our knowledge base. Right now, we participate in annual WIDA training. We undergo lots of testing to make sure that we are kept up to date with the annual procedures on how to properly test our students in what environment and at what length. We're also restructuring and building a comprehensive ELL resource library for the district to use that's currently being held and developed in a Google Drive folder. We'd like to work on enhancing the ELL website and provide greater utility for parents and students. Currently, we'd like to make sure that there is a picture, sort of instructions being given where to find the translate button on our websites, as most pages are equipped with a translate button at the bottom, which helps to shift the languages for the parents' understanding on any web page in the district. We'd like to make sure that button is added to our own ESL department page, as well as making sure that the ESL ELL department is located under the department tab in the website. Currently, it is under the curriculum and instruction website, as it is being headed by our leadership, Ms. Mott. We improve our teacher documentation procedures to enhance clarity, understanding, and accountability. This is taking it a step further, making sure that our student reach scores are being collected quarterly and they're being integrated with our own WIDA scores. And we're really looking to see how those scores translate from our WIDA areas of speaking, reading, writing, and so forth into the classroom. So we'd like to make sure that there's more of a connection and comparison with those directly. And lastly, we are also looking at the development of additional language for our enrollment folder. Currently, we have a online availability for parents to enroll themselves in Spanish and English. It's kind of a limited selection, but it's already proven very useful for our parents, as the majority of the students coming in are of Spanish-speaking origin. When our families come to our schools initially, we like to make sure there are several packets on hand in various languages. We make sure that we have Spanish, French, we're working on Ukrainian, Chinese, and we're looking at another multitude of languages, as we can make sure that those documents are correctly translated with the correct instructions on how to contact us and enroll online, and making sure that they know that there are language services available for them free of charge through the LAMP services that we utilize in partnership with the district.
Thank you. Now it's time to showcase our data. Okay, so VIDA access is administered annually in January to February for all grade levels. Since I handle the secondary level, I would like to showcase the data for the secondary level. In secondary level, there were 4 students who took VIDA access in high school. Out of 4, 1 student got tested out and 3 showed growth. In the middle schools, we had 12 students who took beta access in Westview Middle School and Central Middle School. Out of four, for 2 students, we don't have a comparable data because of their new enrollment. 7 students who showed growth and 3 students who showed 0 growth, which concludes very well to be said that overall I have 81 percentile of growth improvement, you can say, in this year. Back to you, Dennis.
To wrap up on my part, the elementary results, 17 students took the test in 2023. 12 of those students showed growth. 3 of those students who showcased growth were promoted to the monitored status, in which they will remain under academic supervision for the next 4 years to make sure that their academic performance does not decline by removing those ESL services. So if we notice that those academic performances are either decreasing or not increasing in the way we think they should, they may be re-entered into our program and those lessons would start up again for those students. 5 students had no comparable data into usually by means that they entered the country as a new student, or they entered the window in which they came to the district outside of the testing window. So since the testing takes place in February and January, the student who might move in March and April in a previous year might not have the opportunity to test. So we deal with some students coming in who don't have any comparable data. So our first and foremost goal is to make sure they have an established baseline in our district to work with. So we do offer WIDA screeners to make sure that all students are being considered for their abilities. Thank you.
Are there any questions?
I was just curious, with the assessments, how do you best determine if child actually have a disability versus it being a language barrier?
That's an excellent question. Would you like me to take this one? Sure. So what we do is we work closely with the sort of normal lines of what language development should look like with our students. If we notice that there is a lack of improvement over the course of a given window, maybe a quarterly assessment, we'll look at other possibilities. We'll make sure that we're in constant communication with the teacher, making sure if there are any signs that might be displayed, like any sort of physicality, social interactions. There is a level that is to be expected, but sometimes we might need to involve others as well in the student's welfare. So we'll do home interviews with the parents if there's any sort of concerns that they might have. We can also bring in specialists. I know at LeMasters, I'm stationed right next to the department head for the special school district. So she and I are on a basis in which I can communicate with her openly. And then whenever we have concerns for a student, we do make sure that several individuals are tagged in the email chain to make sure that what can we do is, has there been an intervention team for this student? And have we looked at the possibility that while their writing scores improve, their oral language skills are not? So we can consider multiple facets for that using our community.
Question that I wanted to ask is, do you all interact with other school districts as well with them? I know Rittner has a phenomenal program for their students. Do you all ever interact with other school districts for suggestions and idea as to how to more inclusive of parents?
Sure. We have visited Rittner and we do think it's fantastic. Julie Hahn runs that.
Yes.
And, but we've all did a lot of professional development. We do a lot of research. We're on WIDA all the time, getting certifications and just trying to stay up to date on what's best practices for the English language learners.
I know here we're trying to be more inclusive of our parents and definitely make suggestions of some things that we can do. Our leadership team that we can do so that those parents feel like they are a part of welcome, participate in the things that we have.
Absolutely. And that's why we're trying to increase the number of materials that we have in the various languages. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add?
Just a quick one on that. Whenever a parent does come to us, I always give them my phone number and my email. And I text them on a variety of issues. We recently had a situation where they weren't sure where childcare could be found. I'd just like to shout out to Miss Neal from Lemasters, who has gone above and beyond. She's printing our school like quarterly, or monthly newsletter in different languages. So, and the school that I work with has a lot of actual Spanish posters, like we have oficina, we have baño, we have
Right.
different markings in the hallway. We make sure that popular areas like biblioteca, the library are being referenced. And we want to make sure that, you guys said, all parents are included. So we do stress that we do have interpretive services for them, such as the LAMP. And we are constantly working to make sure that materials that are being sent home are being actively translated to inform them of events in the district. Mhm.
Yeah, Google Translator is one of our best friends.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Do you also use programs like Say Hi? They have a tablet for that. Makes it easy for the talk to the student class.
I would like to draw one kind of attention on that, like, since I just handle the secondary level, I closely, I'm working closely with other teachers. Like, what I usually do, I create Google Google tab where it just shared with other teachers, and especially with the ELA teachers. And I daily update with the link and with the topic what I teach, and they very easily just go there and they can see, okay, this is the topic, and my students, they know this, and based on that topic which has been taught in my class, they will just give an extra, supplement and assignment based on the topic what I taught them already, to just in order to keep keep the thing like going on in a smoother way, not to just feel like to be, for them to be distracted. So I just usually do it, on a regular basis, on a daily basis.
Dr. Wood Adams, is the software available or can it be made available? It's called Say Hi.
That's a question I have to ask Dr. Larry, investigate. Dr. Coleman is asking about some software. It's called Say Hi. And I believe it makes it easier for the teachers
Talk to the
to
student.
talk to the students in their language.
Yes. So, the student has a tablet, pushes the button for the teacher to talk, push it to say English. So the teacher speaks, it comes up on the tablet in that student's language. And then when the student speaks back, that way the teacher can understand. That just makes it easy for the student and for the teacher, for the student to also interact with other students. So when they're in a small group setting, then because the students chime in real quick, because it makes, it allows that student to be a part of the class, because now I can talk to everybody and they can talk to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've seen other software apps that have done the same thing. However, I will investigate that one and get back with you.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you for that suggestion. Currently, with some of my students, we do keep a running Google tab where they have the Chromebook microphone that is able to pick up. We do a lot of exchange that way. I know that right now we'd have to put in the budget request and look at that for sort of financing for the tablets, but that is an excellent suggestion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item for information is the school immunization drive for 23-24. Making this presentation is Dr. Tanya Patton, Assistant Superintendent for Student Services in compliance with policy IHCB, immunization and collaborative cultures of the CSIP. Dr. Patton.
Good evening, SAB members, colleagues, community. I need Karuna's energy. Because I do want to take a moment to thank the board for their belief in my ability to lead Riverview Gardens for the next school year. So thank you so much for that. I have given 150% for 28 years to students. I will continue to do that for the babies of Riverview Gardens, working with the community, the staff, teachers, and everyone to move our district forward. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I wanted to say that. Yeah, Riverview. Okay. I had to do what, I couldn't let Karuna show me up over there. All right, so tonight I bring before you for information our school immunization drive. Over the next 3 months, we will have 25 to 30 school immunization drives for all of the students in Riverview Gardens. We will have the Healthy Kids Band that will be at our elementary buildings, as well as CARE STL will be housed at our school-based health center and offer appointments from 8 to 5 Mondays and 8 to 4 Mondays and Wednesdays, and then half a day on Fridays. So we will be offering immunizations for the next 3 months. Our goal is to get ahead of the game for next year, but also to get some of our students who are not where they should be, get them where they should be. So I'm just bringing this forth. Of course, this is free of charge to Riverview Gardens, and we all like that. So I just wanted to inform the board. Again, this is being presented for informational purposes. Are there any questions?
I do want to ask the question. I know that there are several parents who are not in favor of shots for their students.
ma'am.
And especially younger parents. So should they decide to opt out of their students being getting their immunizations through us, do we have something
Yes.
in place to address that?
Yes, it's a part of our policy, and I thought our policy was on here. But it's a part of our policy, Ms. Morreal. Oh, JHCB, immunization of students. So if parents wish to opt out for religious purposes or for their beliefs, they can submit a letter to us making that statement, and then they will opt out of being immunized.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions? Thank you.
That concludes all the items for information. We're now into the items for discussion. The first one is board norms. I will turn this over to Ms. Maura Real.
Thank
This is
you.
in compliance with policy BBF, board member ethics.
Thank you. So the background around this is that it's imperative for the board to operate in a governance capacity, to set and adhere to norms by which to operate. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was speaking loud enough. I apologize. So I'm going to start over again. I said it is imperative for the board to operate in a governance capacity, to set and adhere to norms by which to operate. The board understands its roles and responsibilities for improving public education in Riverview Gardens. And so at our last training session, so to speak, I really enjoyed the way that we came up with various norms to, it was a collective, and I appreciate that. So what I would like to do is read the norms that we agreed upon. I know that, oh, and they're on the screen too. And I know that Dr. Yvonne Elliott, I didn't know if you had an opportunity to look at those or add to them or what have you. But these are our norms. I'm just gonna, since you can't see them on the board, I'm just gonna read the top what they're called. Well, one is cohesive team. Number 2 is a collective agreement. Number 3 is to be prepared for meetings. And number 4 is not to allow outside entities to dictate board action. We had, and there was things that we added to them. I'll just do the cohesive. Pause to hear all voices after someone speaks. Consider all opinions and assume positive intentions. So that's the things that we came up with. We came up with them in a unique way, but these are the ones that we settled on. I think we liked them.
I think you
We had a
covered
good
it.
time planning them and picking them and what have you. And so what we're probably going to do from time to time is we're going to recite our norms just to remind us.
I did have a question. Are we meaning to say honoring and supporting board decision for 3?
It should be honoring, you're correct,
Okay,
not
Or
honorary.
honorary,
okay. So my only recommendation would be for 4, where it says not allow outside entities. I would suggest the addition to say, based on facts, policies, and procedures. Because we are a legislative board that I think that policies and procedures should guide our decision-making. So
So that
that's,
would be an addition that you would add to that.
yes,
Okay,
that's
so
my
make
only
that number 3 or
Just for clarification, just so that we understand we're capturing. Number 1, under there says SAB decisions will be based on facts, not individual opinions or requests. We're saying add
policies and procedures after facts.
after facts or in the same sentence. Okay, so you're saying board decisions should be made based on facts, policies and procedures, and not individual opinions and requests. See that, Shane? Okay. Right, where on number 1,
Under 4.
SAB
under number
decisions,
4.
right, under number 4, SAB decisions will be made based on facts, policies, and procedures, and not individual opinions or requests.
Are there any other changes or additions that any other board members like to see?
So what was suggested is that the board will have to approve these norms. And then what is suggested is that they be placed in a prominent place in the boardroom, more than one place. And once all of our board members have also completed their disc analysis, we've suggested that it's almost like a placeholder at your place, every board meeting laminated. One side will have everyone's disc analysis results. The other side would have the norm. So this will come back. This says to approve, so it'll come back
At the
this-
end,
in this meeting.
Yes.
For approval. And that way, at the next meeting, we could have it
post. Thank you.
The next item for discussion is read 180 reading and math 180 for the secondary schools. Making this presentation is one of the Iota Alpha for the teacher. I forgot to say that for Dr. Patton. I'm sorry. She is also an awardee. Is Tracy Nave. This is compliance with CSIP student performance as well as board policy IGAB AP1. And this item, I believe we asked for discussion and approval because of the time constraints software.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, colleagues, and community. I come before you on behalf of the secondary schools, which include both middle schools and the high schools, who are needing the renewal of the Read 180 and Math 180 systems at all of the campuses. This Tier 2 and 3 support is set to improve literacy and numeracy that is definitely needed for our struggling readers and those who are having difficulty in mathematics. As you know, we've had several years where we've had substitutes in our math classes, as well as just a need for students to get grade level ready and future ready as far as reading. So we're coming today to ask for the approval of the renewal of the Read 180 and Math 180 systems supporting the Tier 2 and 3 learning needs surrounding the literacy and mathematic readiness goals of the 2 middle schools and the high schools. Again, as such, since it's the renewal contract ends this month, we are asking for discussion and approval for that at the end of this. And this budget comes from federal funds, inclusive of ESSER 3 and Title I little a funds. So we're asking for the recommendation for this not to exceed 101,000. And a recommendation for approval will be presented later in the meeting. Are there any questions?
I know you raising your hand.
No, I'm making, so when you, ESSER thing kind of makes, because we only have a little bit more.
Yes.
I understand it.
Okay.
Thank you.
The additional question?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I do want to say it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
I know.
So thank you.
Yes.
You know, you just pinged something else for me. Yes, it is Awareness Month. It is also Principal Appreciation Month. And we will celebrate you at your next your principal's meeting. The next item is the BJC Behavioral Health Virtual Care. Coming forward to present this is also an Apple for the Teacher awardee, Dr. Tanya Patton. This is in
It's too late,
compliance
Dr.
with
Jones.
collaborative cultures. Well, better late than never. Dr. Patton.
Good evening again. Tonight I bring before you an MOU with BJC Behavioral Health Virtual Care. This MOU is free of charge to us, but will allow us to serve our students in a virtual format. So if we have, if our students are in need of support, they can access it virtually. They would utilize a counselor or a social worker to get that kind of support. BJC will bring in the, Dr. Larry will be happy to hear this, bring in the technology for it, and we don't have to pay for it. But our students will be able to access a mental health care provider virtually, of course, with the permission of their parents. Again, this is free of charge to us. It's recommended that the SAB approve this MOU with BJC. Are there any questions? Thank you. Oh, I'm still here.
The next item is the special school district contract for disproportionality funds. Making this presentation again is the Apple for the Teacher awardee, Dr. Tanya Patton.
Still too late, Dr. Jones.
This is in compliance with CSIP's collaborative cultures.
Okay, good afternoon again. So for the last several years, SSD has given Riverview Gardens $450,000 in disproportionality funding. This is not new. We've received it for the last few years. What is new is that it now will be reimbursable. In the past, they paid for what we wanted. Now they're requiring Riverview Gardens to pay for it upfront, and they will reimburse us based on what we spent. So that is the only reason it's coming to the board for approval, because we had to create a budget for it. So just know that the $450,000 will come back to the district. I will make sure that we bill for every last cent of it. But that's why it's coming to the board for approval. So it is recommended that the SAB approve the MOU, the contract, Dr. May, with SSD in the amount of $450,000. You'll notice that at the bottom, it says $382,000, but with the money that they spend on summer school, that's where the other $70,000 will be spent. And Dr. Nichols will bring that forth in a budget for summer school. Are there any questions on this contract? Dr. May?
Yes. I do have a question. So what was the rationale that they shared for making it reimbursable versus the upfront that they done?
Dr. May, they didn't really share a rationale. They're doing this with all of the school districts that they provide disproportionality funding. It's not specific to Riverview Gardens. It's my understanding that that's just the decision that their board made, was to do it in a reimbursable format.
And to add to that, I was gonna see what you said, but to add to that as well, the governing council had a lot of concern. And so they suggested that special school district board do that.
They've also made quite a few budgetary changes
Right.
for this school year.
Other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is the Power School renewal. And this is in compliance with staffing and workforce. Making this presentation is Mr. Travis Ford Senior. This item is not an awardee at this point in time. He's the Superintendent of Human Resources. This is in compliance with policy GBL, personnel records, GBLB references, and GCD1 professional staff recruitment and hiring. Travis Ford Senior.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, colleagues, and community. Today I have before you the Power Schools annual renewal for the license and the subscriptions fees. Power School is the platform that we use for our applicant tracking in our management system. We use this for our recruiting and for our hiring. It is a vital component for our HR processes because it allows us to post our job openings. It also allows applicants to digitally go in, well, electronically fill out the applications. It allows us to see them, vet them, hiring managers to go in, schedule them for interviews, and then give results and do recommendations for hire. We have been using this platform for several years, and our hiring managers are very familiar with this platform. I mean, it serves us very well. It does have a budget impact. That budget impact is coming out of the HRGOB budget and is not to exceed $1,080.14. It is recommended that the Special Administrative Board receive this for discussion today. Are there any questions?
So, is for, evaluations, a different system is being used outside of. Power
So
School?
we use Power School as well for evaluations, but this is a separate subscription. We use the platform, we use the Perform portion of Power School for the evaluations. That one we have already done. It was done earlier this year and we're currently using it. And this one is for the applicant tracking portion. And so you have to pay for each portion or each module.
Okay.
Thank you.
The last item for discussion is the 23-24 transportation route summary. Making this presentation, Dr. Levon Singleton. Also is not example for the teacher awardee this year. This is in compliance with CSIP. I'm trying to make up to Dr. Patton. This is in compliance with CSIP's attendance and board policy EEA, student transportation services. Dr. Single.
All right, good evening again, Special Administrative Board. I have before you, the last agenda item is the 23-24 transportation route summaries. We are required to bring these before the board on an annual basis to show what our home to school routes are. And as Ms. Butler alluded to in her presentation earlier, this year we still have 24 home to school routes that we run. They are tiered at 3 levels, the elementary, high school, and middle school. We have 5 SIT routes. Those are our students in transition. And we also have the STAMP route. We're doing something for our ELL students this year as well. The only other thing I'd like to add to this item is that on a DESE reimburses the district at 75% of our transportation costs. So if we spend $100,000, 75,000 is what we get back in reimbursement. So one day we hope they'll give us the full 100%, but we'll take the 75% that we're getting at this point. So are there any questions for me about the routes at this time?
With it being dark right now, are the routes, pickup places for students where they can be really seen out in?
Come on up here, Shanika. Let me get her and Amy up here again. I didn't let her leave for that reason because I knew we'd probably have some questions. So ask your question again, Ms. Marrell.
What I'm concerned about is now it's dark now when students, it's going to be darker when students are out on the bus stops. And I'm just concerned that are these bus stops that have been selected visible, where there's like not a lot of brush and all that stuff around them.
So we do.
Because we have some students that walk, so I know the bus routes, but then we have students that walk too. I'm just concerned about,
So we do try to assign those stops in well-lit areas, mostly corner stops. But if we do receive a request that something might be unsafe, then we do handle those requests on a case-by-case basis, and we will make changes if necessary.
And have you all driven the routes to see? Personally, I understand what you're saying, but have you all driven the routes to see where those stops are?
Our drivers do dry run each route, and they will report those safety concerns if they see them. And again, we do monitor those on a case-by-case basis if we do receive a complaint or a concern about a stop.
Okay, thank you.
I do want to add to that if I might, because recently we received a request, Dr. Singleton, from a parent. We had one where student had severe asthma and the parent just felt he or she could not walk to the bus stop, and they provided a stop. And then we had another one from a parent where it was just unsafe walking down Chambers, I believe, to get to the bus stop, and they created another stop. Right.
Yes.
I just had a question about, do we ever support any families with alternate routes for after-school care.
I don't know about the app. Oh, you mean the Soul Fisher?
No, yeah, so I'm saying like, okay, say, a parent, they don't get off of work, there's not gonna be anyone at home. Do we ever accommodate in some type of way where they have, say that another institution does a after-school care? Do we allow that bus that child to be dropped off at that location? Do we offer those type of supports?
Most of the childcare area provide pickup and drop off service.
Okay.
And they actually pick up the students at school. And all of our schools have a different even door that the students who get picked up by services get picked.
And we do have after-school buses, or if there's a program happening at the high school, one of the middle schools, or any of the elementary schools. Usually they'll request transportation if there's a certain number of students who ride, and we'll support that as well. So I also want to just reiterate or just commend what Dr. Pruitt-Adams has said about First Student. They have been very, very, very generous over the past couple of years. We get requests daily, okay, for students who may not otherwise qualify for transportation. But one of the promises of Prop E was that we would provide transportation for students who live within a mile radius, okay? And we get requests all the time for students who, are on the borderline or on the cusp, or, bus stop changes. We get those requests, and with no hesitation, First Student accommodates and make sure that our students are getting to and from school safely. So I do want to publicly say thank you for the services you all are providing. One thing that she highlighted, while other industries are struggling, it's on the news every day about a shortage of drivers. They have made sure that we have been shielded from that, okay? So knock on wood, we have not had the shortage challenges that a number of other districts have had. And so I really want to commend them for that, okay?
I like to commend you all too, because I talk to some of the students sometimes when they get off the bus and they like First Student and they like your drivers and what have you. So I just wanted to offer that as well. I was coming home from picking up my daughter Monday, and another bus company zoomed off the highway and zoomed up the street. The kids were up, hollering out the window, throwing stuff out the window and what have you. Nobody, the driver kept driving real fast. I said, he probably trying to get him off his bus as fast
Get 'em
as
to
he
the
can.
stop.
Yeah. But I just want to commend you. So the students that I get a chance to talk to, I do go throughout the district and talk to the students, and like your.
I have one question. At the location where you are at Bell Fountain and Chambers, there's a new firehouse built right next door. What kind of impact feel or see and anticipate, or none at all, with with that location, with that firehouse right next door to you?
I think it's gonna be a positive for us, just because I think it will enhance the security with that presence there and limit those crime and activity around the base, just because it's the firehouse and their relationship with the police department. I think
So it's a good
great.
thing.
Great. thing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That completes the items for discussion.
We now move to approval of the consent agenda items. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
So move.
Dr. Aunt Elliott, make the approval. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jacqueline Jackson. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Now move to items for action. I have a motion to accept the board norms with the corrections, with the additions.
I move to approve the board norms as amended.
I have a second. Moved in second, moved by Dr. Von Elliott and second by Dr. Coleman, that we approve the board norms with the additions. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
The next item is Read 180, Math 180 for secondary schools. May I have a motion to approve? Approved by Dr. Coleman. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by all of you, Doc. By Jacqueline Jackson. Are there any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. May I now have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved
Moved.
at 8:16.
Hold on, who to say, okay, I'll say Dr. Von Elliott made the motion and Ms. Tifford, I heard you second. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you. Everybody
Thank
have a
you.
good- Ms. Tifford. Whew.